Well, friends, welcome to Success Stories with Fred Arnold. I'm here with Ruben Dua. Ruben is the founder of Dubb. Dubb is a video communication platform that allows you to record instant videos to increase sales. Welcome to the show. I call this a little bit of rapid fire. I want to talk to you about success.
Okay.
And what does success mean to you?
I always go to a Japanese philosophy of ikigai, spelled Ikigai. And the Japanese philosophy of ikigai basically says it's an alignment of 4 elements in your life. Number 1 is, what are you good at? Number 2 is, what do you enjoy? Number 3 is what the world needs. And number 4 is what you can get paid for. So it's a glorious 4-circle diagram. And the center one is your ikigai. This is the Japanese philosophy. Because if we are really good at something and we don't enjoy it, it's a job. If we get paid for something and we hate it, it's or rather, if we are really good at something and we don't get paid for it, it's a hobby. So there's job, vocation, skill, and then ultimately your center point, which is your ikigai. So to me, success is where you have the alignment of all of these 4 elements. Success is not where you're just making a lot of money, because I know people who are no longer with us because they were so focused on making money, they were so focused on being successful that they perished. I also know some people who are so passionate about certain things and they don't get paid for it.
They don't make any money doing it.
And they have to quit as a result. So the runway runs out. So it's a balance here. So success is about finding your purpose and then doing it to the absolute best of your ability.
So let me take that to other areas then of your life that aren't work. Success as a parent.
Success as a parent, I think
you're a father of
2, 12 and 7. Success as a parent is guiding the child to a place where they have ultimately found their purpose, where you don't need to micromanage them. They are on their path, and now we are just basically the guardrails, the loving, compassionate guardrails that sort of assist them to realize their biggest potential. I think the other thing is seeing potential in them that they don't necessarily see in themselves. And this is why a lot of parents have to, unfortunately, force their kids to do math, force their kids to play the violin, force their kids to go to coding classes because they see a potential that the kid doesn't necessarily see in themselves.
Or something that they never had.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned a couple interesting concepts, but I do want to ask you about excellence. You know, excellence is, it has so many different meanings to so many different people. What does it mean? What does excellence mean to you?
To me, excellence is, it's much bigger than the outcome. Because the outcome is easy to ridicule, to break apart. If you look at the outcome of a failure, the outcome might actually be really negative. But a bunch of negative outcomes can stack and compound into a truly excellent outcome, eventual outcome. The best entrepreneurs on the planet build the stepping stones of negative outcomes, and those negative outcomes became excellent outcomes. So for me, it comes down to a couple of things. Number 1, it's putting in massive amounts of effort where it literally gets to the point where it's an effortless flow. This is what you do. It doesn't feel like work anymore. It's what you enjoy. It's what you do. It's what you realize is your true potential and your true purpose. And then doing that in such a repetitive and consistent way that you get continuous results. Some of them are positive, some of them are negative. And then those results ultimately allow you to fill your biggest potential. And then you go and rinse and repeat it and do it over and over and over again. Excellence is not a free throw shot that it's made perfectly in a game. It's the 10,000 practice shots that Shaq did in his own private time that no one else saw. That's excellence to me. And then the outcome is presupposed and it's easy at that point.
And he was willing to sacrifice that. So that comes to another topic, and that is sometimes people don't reach the level of Shaq. So excellence isn't just Shaq. The outcome that Shaq had because he pursued that repetitive effort ends up making him to be who he is. But that goes to another conversation, and that is repetition. Sometimes you could study for 15 minutes a day AI. You can study being a better X, Y, or Z, whatever that is, your passion. And you can become very good at what you do. You can become excellent at what you do. But let's talk about the boring, the repetition that some people aren't willing to do because it's no longer fun. But sometimes you have to do it in order to succeed.
Yeah. I'm going to go back to Eastern philosophy here, and I'll share two quick anecdotes with you. Number one, Bruce Lee, he said it best. I don't fear the man that knows 1,000 kicks. I fear the man that practiced one kick 1,000 times. And the art of repetition and honing in on something where it's so meticulous and perfect and effortless.
The effortless.
Yes.
It becomes effortless.
Effortless.
Excellence becomes effortless.
Yes. Yes.
Because you practice it over and over.
Correct. The Chinese philosophy is specifically Wu Wei, which is Wu Wei, Wu-Tang Clan. The thing I was going to say very quickly was this idea of if you're talking about excellence, you're talking about Wu Wei, effortless action. I mentioned Bruce Lee. There's this other thing which is finding the true joy in the repetition. Like when you think of a bonsai, an artist, a bonsai artist, every single day they're in there doing micro tweaks and just clipping little tiny branches to build something beautiful. If you can find the joy in the repetition, the free throws, the pickleball hits, the sales calls, the podcast, all of a sudden, nothing is mundane anymore because you get to the subtleties and the joy in it. I love that part.
I love the word, and I'm going to throw this new one at you, relentless.
Yeah.
And I don't think relentless has to be painful. I don't think relentless has to be bad. I don't think relentless, let's talk about the positive part of being relentless at being a great parent.
Yeah.
Of being good at a sport, at being good at your craft, at loving your hobby and being relentless with getting better at golf. What does relentless mean to you? And does it bring out any emotion or thoughts that really stir things up for you?
Being relentless to me means that you are not brainwashed, that you have been able to fully embrace and empower your curiosity. I can share a story about myself. As a kid, I had a massive passion for electronics and how things worked. I would literally go and take apart every appliance in the house.
Really?
The blenders, the vacuums.
Your
the
dad
TVs.
allowed that, huh?
And guess what? Sometimes I was able to put it back together, and sometimes I was not. So there was a lot of conversations about, why did you break this vacuum? And from his perspective, or from my mom's perspective, why did you break it? From my perspective, it was relentless curiosity. So I think that, Steve Jobs said it best, stay foolish. Being relentless is taking your curiosity to the infinite degree and not having society push you down and brainwash you to say, don't uncover those stones. Don't make that phone call. Don't try to start that business. Don't try to do that Ironman race. Whatever it is, keep pushing yourself relentlessly. And it's rooted for me in curiosity. That's my take on that.
Yeah. And I think sometimes our relentless pursuits change.
Yeah.
The
pivot, the art of the pivot.
Well, and raising my children. I mean, they're now on their way, so I've become relentless at supporting them.
Yeah.
And not as much guiding them, but supporting them,
Yeah.
right? Another word that is often used, and it can be used in a romantic way, it could be used in a passionate way, it could be used in a business way, it could be used in a relational way, love.
So, love it's so interesting when I think about the word love. When I think about the love that my parents gave me, and they gave me a lot, the love was all rooted in gaining independence. It's learning how to stand on your own 2 feet. That was their definition of love. It wasn't love in the traditional sense. I remember I had a friend who had this a extremely supportive, empathetic, affectionate mom who was just always there to support him and be kind to him. And my mom, God bless her, I'm going to see her in a couple of days, and I'm going to tell her this to her face. Yeah,
she's still like you?
Yeah.
No, she still like you.
Yeah, no, she never did. It's never good enough. It's never good enough. But I understand where she's coming from because, for her, it's how do you go and fulfill your potential? How do you go and not just survive? How do you go and thrive? And sometimes, when I look at, and I don't mean to sound like a Gen X, a harsh Gen X guy, or a guy that was raised by immigrants, or what.
You are who you are.
I am who I am, and I don't want to stereotype. But sometimes now looking back at my friends who did not have tough parents, they have a tough life right now because that push wasn't there. Some of us have the push. Some of us have it internally,
regardless of how we were treated by our parents.
Yeah. And some kids, unfortunately, and I was one of them. I needed to be pulled. I needed to be pulled through things. And if they didn't pull me like that, I don't know where I would be.
Yeah, that's
maybe I'd be a successful musician.
Yeah.
On stages.
You played last time we had an event.
Yeah. Music is my hobby. It's not my profession. Yeah. If my parents didn't do what they did to me, I probably would have been a full-time musician, and I could have been a biggest pop star, or I could have been on Hollywood Boulevard.
Yeah. My son sent something recently to me that I'm very proud of. He said, my parents gave me what I needed, not what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, beautiful. Wow. And then he followed it up with, and I'd never heard this saying before. He goes, if you raise your children, you get to spoil your grandchildren. If you spoil your children, you're going to be raising your grandchildren. That was just so like, wow, like boom. Last question, concept or thought, and I appreciate your wisdom and sharing with me over this quick discussion, and that is being a victim or being a victor. Now, what does that mean to you?
Well, is it the most controversial thing that someone can say is that there is no such thing as a victim. You are that individual that says that is going to trigger all sorts of responses because, Anne Frank and Helen Keller and, any name that you want in war zones right now, are these people victims? And we have to have compassion. We have to have empathy for situations that we don't have to deal with right now in this free country.
People are victims of fires. People are victims of, but some people see that and react to that situation this way or that way.
Yeah, right. So the way that I interpret this is that there's like acts of God and there's self-empowerment. In the realm of self-empowerment, when it comes to persevering, starting a business, making money, achieving your goals, accomplishing things that you set out years ago, months ago, days ago, if we take on the onus of full accountability, we empower ourselves to go and be able to accomplish everything. If we take the position of the victim, we are doing that thing where we're avoiding risk. And the reason why we're avoiding risk is because we are avoiding the fear of failure, which is like an ego thing. So I think the most honest thing that we can ask ourselves is, am I a victim because my ego is telling me that and because I'm afraid of executing, taking risk? Or am I in a situation that's just toxic and I need to do something about it? Either way, it comes down to self-realization for me.
Yeah, I love that. And sometimes you can become a victim of a crime or of a circumstance or a disaster, but then do you decide the decisions you make and how you approach it allow you to become a victim or stay a victim, right?
I mean, here's a quick thing for you. The best billboard on this is climbed Everest blind. Have you seen it?
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
It climbed Everest blind. And it's a blind man who climbed Everest, not a victim. And then the second one is the person that has no legs and maybe no arms. I don't recall. I think they're a quadra. I don't recall what that's called. A quadra where you lose 4 limbs.
Yeah.
No. But it's the
quad amputee.
quad amputee
Yeah.
who's a TED Talk. Multiple, I want to say, just so I get my facts correct, multiple amputee TED Talk speaker who goes up there on stage and says, if I can do this and you have your 4 limbs, can you do what you want to do?
Yeah, wow, that's powerful. It reminds me of a quick story. We were going to finish, but I want to share one story, and it was one of the most empowering things I'd ever experienced. I went to Walter Reed Hospital, and this was probably almost 10 years ago, and maybe a little bit 12 years ago. And I went to go see a friend who was getting his leg amputated. He was a friend of a family member who had lost their son in Iraq. And he hurt his leg on the same attack that they lost their son. And they said, go talk to him and have a conversation with him. He's losing his leg, and tell him we love him and just see how he's doing. He's become family because their common bond was that attack that happened. His son passed. This young man kept his life, but ended up losing his leg. So I was asking him how was his experience? This was probably a couple weeks post surgery. And he said that there was a man that came into his office, to his room at Walter Reed right after it happened. And he's hopping on 2 legs. He had gotten hit by a roadside bomb and lost all 4 limbs. And said, you know what? I don't want to hear any complaining. Next week, I want to see you in the gym. You only lost 1. I lost all 4. Let's go. I'm here.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
And that's turning a victim situation, a tragic situation, and becoming a victor. And you can learn so much from our young soldiers and those that have had challenging times.
Well, I mean, speaking of limbs, here's a final one that I'll leave with you, which is, ask yourself, Fred, how much would you sell your arm for? Would you sell it for 10 million?
No.
Would you sell it for 100 million?
No.
Would you sell it for $1 billion?
No.
It
wouldn't change my life.
So
so
your arm is worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you have 2 arms. That's $2 billion. I'm assuming $1 billion for each leg. You literally have $4 billion of assets right here, right on your.
Exactly.
You possess that right on your body. You have $4 billion of assets. Are you a victim or are you a victor?
Exactly. Yeah, you're right. Because I feel like I'm so blessed in life.
Yeah.
That I don't. What would $1 billion do for me that I don't already have?
Right.
So.
Amen.
Ruben, how can those reach out to you?
Dubb team is at work. Ruben Dua is my social channels, and Dubb.com is my company. Thanks, Fred.
See you soon.
Yeah.